The Red Mill, a nearly vaudevillian show, opened in New York in 1906. The plot revolves around two penniless Americans, Kit Connor and Con Kidder, who are stranded in Holland. Their attempt to raise money for their return fare to America provides the comic relief. The romance is provided by Gretchen and Captain Van Dam. The governor, also desiring Gretchen, locks her in the windmill. The Americans save the day and the lovers are reunited.
I'd like to relate a little anecdote about the opening night of the Red Mill, which you might find quite humorous. Incidentally, you might have gathered that this is the boy, Victor Herbert himself. Does he look like an Irishman to you? Herbert, on opening night of all of his operettas, some 44 of them, would have a party for his players and his orchestra after the first performance. And this particular night, on the opening of the Red Mill, the owner of the restaurant where the party was being held was trying to be a nice guy and impress Herbert, so he constructed a small windmill and placed in it a phonograph which was playing selections from the Red Mill. This was on opening night. Now, most composers, artists, and so on would be honored at such a display, but not Herbert, because in those days, the very early 1900s, the composers, artists, and so on got no royalties from the phonograph companies. And so it was a very sore point with Herbert. And when he saw this, he became very angry and lost his temper, and he smashed it to pieces with his fist. Well, he quickly composed himself, felt rather ashamed, patched it up with the owner of the restaurant, and everything went on gaily that evening. The next day, when Herbert came back to the restaurant to have an evening meal, he walked in and saw the windmill fixed up, playing selections again from the Red Mill. He was furious again, but his anger turned to amusement when he saw a little sign below the patched up Red Mill saying, "Selections from the Red Mill, personally revised by Victor Herbert."
In dear old New York, it's remarkable very. The name on the lamppost is unnecessary. You merely have to see the girls to know what street you're on. Fifth Avenue beauties and dear old Broadway girls, the tailor-made shoppers, the Avenue A girls. They're strictly all right, but they're different quite in the different parts of town. In old New York, the peach crops always line. They're sweet and fair, and on the square, the maids of Manhattan for mine. You cannot see in gay Paris, in London, or in Cork the queens you'll meet on any street in old New York. I should like, without undue reiteration of the ego, to explain how very hard I find it is to make my pay go round among my vulgar creditors. I'm fearfully in debt, for I always have afforded anything that I could get. But I must say I've enjoyed the best of what there is in life. I've been lucky in my love affairs. I've never had a wife. I can summon little interest in the dry affairs of state. And the businessmen who call on me are coldly left to wait. For every day is Ladies' Day with me. Every day is Ladies' Day with me. At your disposal all is well. devil, for I always find a way to make them smile. The little devils. No doubt I should have married long ago.